Item number 6.
Mr. Chair, may I ask if we have a 5-minute break, please, sir?
Sure. We'll go into a 5-minute break. Okay, we'll go to action item number 6. It's discussion of regarding policy to adopt new county roads. The road department.
Actually, Mr. Chair, I think Adolfo and I are going to present it, and we'll certainly take input from the road department. But when we were looking at the requests for maintenance on the new roads that had been coming before the commission, and we asked the road department to compile all of the policies and the procedures that they had been following for the last several years, and they gave them to us. And in reviewing them, we found there was quite a few of contradictions and just things that needed to be updated statutorily. And as we were progressing, I know that I'd asked Adolfo to look into the Chapter 67 statutes, and I think he can probably take it from there. That's with regards to adopting public highways.
Thank you. I think that I think we just need to go there. As I said, there are statutes that govern the adoption, the vacation, the modification of county roads, and I think we just need to go through the process of making sure that the road policy in place aligns to the statute. It's pretty forward in that regard.
Essentially, you guys have all been on the commission at one time or another when a request to vacate a county road has come before us. And there's a statutory process that we have to go through of appointing 3 unbiased landowners in the county to view the road and make a report to the commission. It's essentially the same process has to be followed to adopt a public road. So the road department has put together, or they have started putting together a new policies on defining roads and vacating roads and requesting new roads, etc. And it's actually a pretty good policy. I think it just needs some tweaking and some input from the commission and whoever else you would prefer to have input. And there are also those statutes, the Chapter 67 statutes need to be included in the adoption processes. So I think it's important that we start moving forward with getting a policy put together before we have any more requests for establishing county roads come before the commission, and to develop a process for those who have already come before us.
I think we need to make it clear to everybody that the process is this is a process that everybody has to take, and we will. I think that's very good, not only for the public but for the commission itself, the road department, because we do have, I know, an awful lot of requests. A lot of people do want the roads done, but like I said, being Torrance County and the limited amount of funds that we have, we're just barely keeping up with the roads that we have. And there is roads, not only in my district, but other districts that need some attention, and we just got to finish what we have first before we can even consider, I think, taking on something else. That's my opinion on this. You have anything to add to that? Or,
Mr. Chair, I guess my question is, I read through the statutes considerably, and I mean, we have laws that go back to 1915, and so, you know, that would entail a lot of roads that we've adopted and stuff, and most of it is orientated towards establishing roads where roads are not at this point. It talks about, you know, having the 3 viewers. It also talks about having a county surveyor going out and surveying where the road will be and making sure that it's within the lines. It also talks, the statute talks about acquiring the land, whether it's through condemnation or whether it's through a fair price that's given. So a lot of the statutes do lean towards that way. And my question would be, is this something that we want to adopt from January 1st forward, or how far back do we want to go? Because I found one road, actually, it's more than a road, it's an entire subdivision that was turned down by the county in 1973, and yet we still blade every one of the roads that are in there. So it's, I mean, there's a case in point. And we also have roads that we've made an agreement with to, if they supply the material, we would work as a co-op, you know, with them to where we can help those. And the statute clearly defines that no private roads shall be, you know, until adopted. So again, my question would be, are we looking for something to go forward with? Because me specifically, and talking about Road 102, that was adopted as a green road. And I do believe that some of this may be pointed towards the two roads that we adopted back in, I believe in November. And I want to make sure that if we're going to go back that far, let's go all the way back to, you know, 1950 and look back and see what we did.
Malcolm, do you have a comment?
Yeah, it sounds like they're thinking in terms of like, it sounds like that there's maybe a need for an inventory that is clear, and so there may be the need to, there may already be some that are established by prescription. There may be other ways that roads have been established, but it sounds like some review of an inventory, and it's, I don't know, it's up to the commission to decide where you want to start that inventory, but some kind of inventory, and to make sure that you have a clear understanding of which ones are within the green roads, which ones are properly within there, and which ones are not, and which ones may need some additional action.
Well, Mr. Chair, if I may.
I'm sorry, we need to stop. There's something wrong here, so we're going to have to take a break.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll just take a break to fix our recording.
Will we have to say all that over? Okay.
Rewind.
Stop talking.
I did what? What? Oh, come on. Look, you know what did. You know, she asked me, she said, can I have half? I told her, I said, this
Okay, we were on discussion on the road regarding policies regarding adoption of new roads.
I would just like to, and I've said this before, that I mean, it's good that this has all come about and we've had these issues of the roads, because it's just making us come up to getting everything, all of our paperwork and documentations and everything up to par. For myself, I know that we've remapped 2011. The mapping is done. I think we need to go back as far as 2011 of what those roads are. My only request is that instead of doing a red road and a green road, that we take off the colors and just say it's county maintained
Statute.
and eliminate all of the confusion of red and green. So,
And that proposition, Mr. Chair and Commissioner Coffey, would you suggest we accept all the green roads for maintenance, or we do away with them?
I think we gotta continue doing them, but I mean, I think if a green road needs to be done, it needs to be done, and I think, I guess the way you have it now is different. One is maintained once a year, one is maintained twice a year, or whatever.
Red roads are maintained regularly, and that includes culverts, cattle guards, material if necessary. green roads are, the definition is we can blade them once a year upon request of the residents.
And I think
Twice.
as the road department goes through their policies and we bring those policies up to date of the issues that we're dealing with and facing with now, I would leave that up to the discretion of the road performance to, outline it and then bring it back before us so that we can have a clear understanding, have them come back. I was just informed that they can now project our map of the roads, and we can invite the public to come, and then this way the road department can say this is what it is, and then we go from there. But that everybody has a clear understanding of what we're talking about.
I didn't mean to interrupt. Mr. Chair, if I may make a request, I have not seen the policy revisions before any action is taken.
No, this is just discussion, and we need to get a copy of whatever you need, information that you need to go over.
Appreciate that.
That was the task that was given to the road department a few months ago, was to start putting together a complete policy. Because we have people saying, well, somebody told me this and somebody told me that, and we don't have one policy that we can go to and say, no, this is what it says. So we tasked the road department to start working on that
I appreciate that. Then I could compare it to the statutory
and
requirements.
make sure that we're okay.
Thank you.
Okay?
And I understand what you're saying about going back to 2011, but it is just a map. And, it's, if we go back, then I would say that let's go all the way back. We have roads that we had a gentleman that was in here talking about that his road was always a green road, and then it just got quit blading, and nobody knew who quit it and who stopped blading it or anything. And so what I would prefer is that if we are looking at revising the policy and looking at a new policy, then we need to take a look at from January 1st forward. And this commission, other commissions, what they've done, and I think that should be left alone. If you read through this policy, it also tells you that the road supervisor shall give the commissioner of the respective district at the first of each year and take them to where the commissioner can designate what roads are priority. And I've never done that, but it's policy. And so, we have a lot of things that we need to look forward to. As far as going back, I do not wish to go back. I do not wish to look at things that another commission has done or said.
So you're saying as of January,
First,
that's as far back as we go?
that's as far back as we go.
Well, this is just discussion, and we'll just,
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of, I think we as commissioners have put who decides, and the road department, since they run the road department, I think they have, they're in charge of seeing what road needs to be done. But of course, on the other hand, when people come to me, I usually notify the county manager that this road is being asked about, and in turn she will relay to the road department, because I believe we need to follow the chain of command. If the commission just goes out there and says, I want this done, I want that done, I know we don't run the day-to-day operations, but the county manager does, and I think that's the route that we need to take, is follow the chain of command. That way, I think people understand more of what's going on than by the commissioner catching the grader out there on the road and say, no, stop here, I want you to go over there. Well, that's not being productive, I think. And then they understand themselves on who they need to pay attention to and stuff like that. I think the chain of command is one of the most important things to make things work right.
And I agree, and I don't think I've ever stepped out of those bounds. I've discussed several times with Joy things that I've gotten calls on, and if she'll have them take a look in it. And I believe also that the chain of command, but, in talking about the policies here, we have these policies, and I think we should rewrite them. I think we should rewrite them to the point to where the road department knows what their responsibilities. It also states in the old policy that the road department shall not hire anybody, that it's the commissions to hire road department employees, and that the road department can participate, in it.
We
And
need,
so when we're talking about old policies,
yeah,
I'm saying that those are the things that need to be changed.
yeah.
But when we're talking about, looking at the roads itself, I believe that we need to get a policy as of January 1st, and make it retroactive back to that. But also to where the public knows what the procedures are to get the road put on the map. And, at this point, we've just kind of guessed.
Okay, I think we'll see what the road department comes up with a plan and see. Viola, I mean, would you talk, are you going to ask a question on policy or what?
I would like to ask for a little bit of clarification if I could.
Well, would you talk to one of us after the meeting is over?
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
And after the discussion today about the roads, I'm just curious if the commission would consider placing a moratorium on accepting any new county roads until we have a policy in place and adopted.
We'll put in the next agenda item for the next meeting. We'll use it as an agenda item.